Hi students, here we are again discussing our Dropbox assignment for this week, how to succeed with this assignment, which is your week 4 Dropbox assignment, Philosophy of Leadership Statement. This is pretty important in terms of the class. It's kind of a capstone assignment for a leadership class, and it's something that if you do it right, it may really stick with you and guide you for many years to come with your leadership in nursing and wherever your career takes you. So, as we've done every time, I want to suggest that you look at the rubric, review it carefully. Rubrics are all a little bit different for each assignment, but they're very similar. And just a reminder that under formatting, spelling, and grammar, I also include your correct use of citations and reference lists. So be sure to pay attention to that. Now, this assignment is fairly straightforward. It has 4 exercises that I would kind of equate to exercises in the back of a chapter of a textbook. But the cool thing about these exercises is that they lead up to and culminate in your development of your own leadership philosophy. It's not an overly challenging assignment, but it does have a number of moving parts. So my biggest suggestion to you would be to watch your time management. And because it does have a lot of parts and some of them are more lengthy and intense than others, I would suggest that you get an early start on the assignment. Exercise 1 is about identifying your leadership values, and you're given a list that appears in a chart from which you are to pick 5 core values that you feel describe you and guide who you are as a nurse leader. Now, you also have the option of choosing values that don't appear on this chart. So, you are welcome to do that. Then, on a chart that appears underneath that chart that lists the values, you're going to plug in your values. And this chart is meant to have 3 columns, but on my computer it appears only like it has 2 columns. And you can see that there's a break, what should be a break in the columns right here, but it just doesn't show up that way. So if you actually use this chart to type into, you might have to do some manipulation with it or even recreate it. But it is intended to have 3 columns, obviously. And then first column, you're going to list the values that you came up with in the first part of the exercise, including any that were not in the chart, any that you came up with on your own. And you're going to give your personal definition of the values. How do you define these values? What do they mean to you? How do they guide your life professionally and personally? And then you're going to answer the question, how do you envision these values playing out in your nursing leadership? Now, you are not required to use sources in any part of this assignment, but if you do choose to use them, and of course I'm always impressed when you do, you must make sure that you use correct APA in-text citations and a reference list. In exercise 2, you're going to be uncovering your leadership assumptions, and there's a list of 5 questions. I've only included the first one here, and this first one is one of the pieces of the assignment that's a little bit lengthy. You're going to be writing 2 narratives about leadership. One describes a positive experience you've had with leadership, and the second one describes a negative experience with leadership. And both of those narratives should fit on one page. And then there are 5 additional questions about your leadership assumptions that you'll be answering. And you can probably guess what I'm going to say next, that if you use any sources in answering those questions, be sure to correctly format them in APA in-text citations and reference list. And remember that these classes ask about your personal characteristics, so please use first person, I, me, my, mine, and so forth. In exercise 3, it's about understanding your leadership beliefs. So you're going to be answering another set of questions, and the assignment makes a point of that you're going to give very succinct answers. So you're not going to go into a lot of detail with the answers to these, maybe just a sentence or two in response to these. And you'll see a good example of that in the sample excellent assignment that's included here on this page. And once again, if you do use any sources, not required to, but if you do, you should make sure they're correctly formatted in APA style, your in-text citations and reference lists. And again, remember that these questions are about your personal characteristics, so use first person to talk about them. In exercise 4, you're finally going to be developing and finalizing your leadership philosophy. You're going to use what you learned from the previous exercises and write your leadership philosophy in present tense and with a first person perspective. And your leadership philosophy should be a statement that consists of responses from the previous exercises. Not a lot of verbiage. You'll see both in the sample that appears on this page and in the sample excellent assignment that you can download, that the philosophy is not very lengthy at all. And my biggest suggestion to you here is to review the sample excellent assignment, because it's very well done and you can see exactly what you need to do to get the best possible grade. And as always, please reach out to me if you have any questions, if there's anything you don't understand about the assignment. I wish you much success with it. Again, get an early start, watch your time management, make sure you get it done, and reach out if you have questions. Thanks.